At the end of 2022, Secure 2.0, which is short for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement, became law. It expands earlier legislation, changing many aspects of the savings and retirement landscape for Americans. The rule changes make various accounts more beneficial or even more flexible. So it's really important to stay up to date and understand how the updated regulations affect your current and future financial life. This show will review 10 changes to various tax-advantaged accounts starting in 2024. So if you want to pay less tax and save more money for a secure future, stay with me to learn more. Hey friends, welcome back to the Money Girl podcast. I'm Laura Adams, an award-winning author and finance expert who's been bringing you tips and advice every week since 2008 with over 41 million downloads. I'm also a money speaker and work with select brands doing on-camera and writing work as a financial spokesperson and consumer advocate. So reach out if you're interested in collaborating for a speaking event or PR campaign. As always, you can reach me using my contact page at lauradadams.com. That's also where you can learn more about my work, books, and money courses. You can also leave me a message, a show topic, or a money question by leaving a voice message at 302-364-0308. All right, so let's talk about 10 savings and retirement rule changes that are coming up for 2024. So since we have a little bit of time, we're recording this in September. We've got several months before the end of the year. It's a great time to adjust your savings plan and to take advantage of all these changes that are coming in the new year, because most of them do allow you to save more money. All right, so the first rule change is that health savings accounts, or HSAs, have higher contribution limits. So if you purchase an HSA qualified health plan, it could be through your employer or even on your own, you can use one of the most tax efficient accounts on the planet, which is an HSA. So how it works is that your contributions are tax deductible. You get to invest them within the account for tax-free growth. And then you get to withdraw both of your contributions and earnings tax-free as long as you spend them on qualified healthcare expenses. And as I mentioned, the contribution limits are going up in 2024, which is great news. So if you are single with an individual HSA qualified health plan, your HSA contribution limit increases from $3,850 in 2023 to $4,150 in 2024. And if you have a family plan, so that means it could either be you and a spouse or partner, or you and dependents. Any plan that's got more than just you on it is a family plan. And for that, your limit increases. So for this year, it's $7,750. And next year, it's going up to $8,300. All right, the second rule change is that flexible spending accounts, or FSA, contribution limits increase. An FSA is another type of medical spending account that allows pre-tax contributions. However, unlike an HSA, it's only offered by employers. You can defer a portion of your paycheck to an FSA and then use it to pay qualified healthcare and even childcare expenses. Unlike an HSA, which has no spending deadline, FSA funds must typically be spent by the end of the plan year. This is known as the use it or lose it provision. And for 2023, FSA contribution limits are $3,050, and they are going up in 2024 to $3,200. The third change to know about is that workplace retirement account contribution limits increase. Most workplace retirement plans like 401ks, 403bs, 457s, and even solo 401ks for the self-employed allow employees to contribute up to $22,500 in 2023. And based on cost of living adjustments, the limit is expected to increase by $500 to $23,000 in 2024. Now, the official IRS announcement for the following year's contribution limits is typically released in mid-October, so we haven't seen that come out yet. However, the $500 bump is an educated guess from experts based on the cost of living adjustment and, the inflation rate. So I'll let you know if anything changes, but this is an expected increase for 2024. But the catch-up contribution limit for those over 50 will remain at $7,500 for 2024. So that's giving you a total contribution limit of $30,500 next year if you're over 50. And the limitations that I'm talking about apply to both pre-tax traditional retirement plans and after-tax Roth accounts. Now, if your company also contributes matching or any profit-sharing funds to your retirement plan, your employer's total contributions also increase next year. So right now, that total is $66,000, but it's going up to $68,000 in 2024. And if you're over 50, you get a higher amount because you've got your catch-up contributions. So for you, that limit is $75,500. So that's the $68,000 plus $7,500 for those who qualify for catch-up contributions next year. Note that 457 plans have some unique catch-up rules, so always confirm the total with your plan administrator if you have one. Also, if you have a simple retirement plan, the contribution limits are different. They are $15,500 for 2023, and they're going up to $16,000 in 2024. The fourth change is that individual retirement account or IRA contribution limits increase. Anyone with earned income, no matter your age, qualifies for a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. However, there are Roth IRA income limits, and I'll review what's changing with them in just a moment. IRA contribution limits are also expected to increase by $500. So right now they're $6,500 for 2023. They're going to be going up to $7,000 in 2024. If you're over 50, you qualify for an additional $1,000 catch-up, giving you a total contribution of $8,000 in 2024. And the Roth IRA income cutoff will increase next year. That will allow more people to qualify for this terrific account. If you are a single taxpayer with modified adjusted gross income above $153,000 in 2023, that's the limit where you cannot participate in a Roth IRA. You can have one, but you just can't contribute to it if your income is that high. And for 2024, the threshold is going up. It's going to be raised to $161,000. So again, if your modified adjusted gross income is over $161,000 in 2024, that's when you're no longer eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA. If you are a married taxpayer filing jointly, when your modified adjusted income is above $228,000, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA in 2023, but it's going up to $240,000 in 2024. I love it when the Roth IRA income threshold increases because, that just means a lot more people are going to be eligible to have one. The fifth rule change to know is that IRA catch-up contributions adjust for inflation. Now, I mentioned that the IRA catch-up contribution for those over 50 is $1,000 for 2023. It's also $1,000 for 2024. However, starting in 2024, they're going to begin to get adjusted to keep up with inflation. So that means catch-up limits are likely to increase slightly each year starting in 2025. Change number 6. SEP IRA contribution limits increase. A SEP IRA, or Simplified Employee Pension IRA, is a retirement plan for business owners, their employees, and the self-employed. I have a SEP IRA and I love mine. Contributions can only come from an employer. Employees can never contribute their own funds. For 2023, contributions are limited to the lesser of 25% of compensation, or $66,000. But the limit increases to the lesser of 25% of compensation, or $68,000 per year for 2024, so getting a $2,000 bump on the SEP IRA contribution limit. Change number 7. Workplace Roths have no required minimum distributions, or RMDs. Before Secure 2.0, a Roth IRA was the only retirement account that allowed you to skip RMDs. Even workers with a Roth 401k or 403b had to start RMDs at age 72, unless they rolled over funds to a Roth IRA, which was the typical workaround. But starting in 2024, you won't be subject to mandatory distributions if you have money in a workplace Roth. Also, the new legislation increased the age for traditional retirement account RMDs from 72 to 73. And in 2023, the RMD age jumps to 75. Change number 8. Roth IRAs can receive penalty-free rollovers from 529 plans. So another significant change related to Roths affects anyone with a 529 college savings plan. These tax-advantaged investment accounts are designed to help families save for future education expenses. With a 529, you contribute and invest funds using a menu of choices. It's, typically mutual funds or exchange-traded funds, and they grow tax-deferred. Then you can pay qualified expenses like tuition, supplies, and room and board at eligible colleges and universities tax-free. Plus, you can now use $10,000 per year per child for primary and secondary school education without having to pay any taxes or penalties. But one problem with 529s is not knowing exactly how much you might need to save for future education expenses. The problem was if you save too much and you end up taking non-qualified withdrawals, the earnings portion of the account gets taxed, plus you have to pay a steep 20% penalty. Well, to reduce that negative consequence, starting in 2024, you can roll over up to $35,000 to a beneficiary's, which is the student's, Roth IRA over their lifetime with no taxes or penalties. Now, you still have to adhere to the annual IRA income contribution limit, which equals the beneficiary's annual earned income for up to $7,000 in 2024. So this is something you'll only be able to use if you have a child with some earned income. They qualify for a Roth IRA, they've got their own Roth IRA, and you can make rollovers slowly over time until you get up to that $35,000 limit. Note that you can only do a 529 to Roth IRA rollover if the 529 has been open for at least 15 years. So that's a good reason to open one sooner rather than later. If you think you're going to need one for a child, you could always open it and just, put a little money in, and that starts the clock on this 15-year timeline. Also, contributions and earnings made within the previous 5 years are not eligible for a rollover. The 9th change is that workplace Roths can be tapped for emergencies. In 2024, workplace retirement plans can offer a linked emergency savings account for non-highly paid employees. So here's how it works. You can save up to $2,500 or a smaller amount established by the employer to a Roth and make several penalty-free annual distributions. And your emergency savings contributions may be eligible for an employer match, depending on your plan's rules. And the final change that we'll cover, number 10, is that the Roth catch-up requirement got delayed. So the Secure Act also significantly changes catch-up contributions for retirement plan participants over 50. The rule says that workers with modified adjusted gross income over $145,000 in the prior year can only put their catch-up contributions in a Roth. There are some exceptions, but this rule got a lot of pushback from industry groups and employers who said, hey, there is no way we can update our payroll systems and do all the administrative work required to get this change up and running by 2024. So in response to all of that, the IRS delayed what I'm calling the Rothification of catch-ups. So they're delaying it 2 years until 2026. So if you've been hearing about this rule change, just know that it's not going to apply. So that means for 2023, 2024, and 2025, if you're over 50, you can make either traditional or Roth catch-up contributions, whatever's allowed by your employer. And then after 2026, remember that if you earn $145,000 or less, you're exempt from the Roth catch-up requirement, but we'll have to follow it if your income gets above that limit. All right, I hope these rule changes for 2024 have been helpful. I think you can see that the contribution limits for most tax-advantaged accounts is going up, and that's great news because it gives you a lot more opportunities to cut your taxes and save more money. That's all for now. I'll talk to you next week. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast. It's audio engineered by Steve Rickyberg with editing by Adam Cecil. Our advertising operations specialist is Morgan Christensen. Our digital operations specialist is Holly Hutchins. And our marketing and publicity associate is Davina Tomlin.